Hi everybody, it's Tara from Sojourn Psychology, and I just wanted to take some time to talk to you. It's been a very important couple of weeks here in June of 2020, and there's been some really important and appropriate challenges being put forward to all of us about how we are holding the sacredness of different ethnicities, and how we are being challenged to just notice that difference does matter. So when I consider what is working right now, it is this listening thing. And at first, when that challenge was put forward, it was hard to understand, maybe for some of us. I mean, for myself in particular, I had to get really slow and very still and think about why listening was so important for it to make sense to me. So I want to give you some sort of tips or philosophies to increase our ability to listen bravely. And I think that is the key right now, is how can we listen bravely during times of crisis, or to meet people in their distress, in the story that is so difficult for individuals to share. So the first thing is when we're listening bravely, we are really offering a space of gratitude. And it's important that for me as a listener, I really understand how grateful and how benefited I am by someone sharing this vulnerable truth, this vulnerable story of pain with me. That's a privilege. So when we adapt an attitude of gratitude, that is a part of listening bravely. The second thing is attunement. I think attunement is actually very complicated when we're starting to speak about pain. So when somebody shares their pain story, something inside of us sort of connects with our own pain. But there is a place where sharing our pain, when somebody else is speaking about their journey, is misattuned. And what is beneficial actually is to just give the floor to the speaker and listen to their pain. Because even though we are empathizing and resonating as they share, we don't know that story. We haven't lived that experience. And so if we interrupt by starting to share our story or our urgency about pain, that limits our ability to learn, and that limits their experience of being heard, of being seen, of being known by us. And anybody who's bringing their pain story to us is actually just saying, hey, I'm going to let you know me. And that is just a beautiful thing for us to be afforded. We don't necessarily deserve to hear all that we are being benefited by in the stories that are being shared with us during times of crisis, during this time of racial crisis. The other thing I think is vital for listening bravely is to be prepared to be impacted. If I'm going into an important moment with a person as a clinician, as just a self-aware person, and I realize that this person is sharing to me the depths of their heart, of their vulnerable existence, this story that has just rocked their world, I long to be impacted. I want to come away from hearing what I've heard changed, renewed, moving forward into growth for my own well-being, and so that I can offer more well-being to other people, so that I can listen bravely again with somebody else. The other thing is compassion, sincere compassion. When people are sharing trauma and pain and this vulnerable stuff that's going on, we long to be met with sincerity and authenticity. I'm sure many of us have had this experience where we share something so fragile and the other person is either misattuned, not paying attention, just don't get it, or they give a false compassion. Oh, that thing of geez, that makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't feel comforted. whereas a sincere compassion of just appreciation and maybe tenderness, the sadness shows up, sincere feelings are transmitted. That is a part of authentic compassion. And this is really vital. And I mean, this is tied into emotionally focused theories, as well as circle of security theories, is just looking for the intention. So circle of security will say positive intentionality, and we hold it in some different language in the emotionally focused school of thought. But when somebody's sharing pain with us, it's uncomfortable. So if we can step back or zoom back with ourselves and say, okay, this person is sharing this with me for a reason, and more than likely it's a good reason. There's a positive intentionality that is driving why this person is sharing this information with me. It can help us to navigate how we can listen bravely, how we can help to hold the big feelings that might be showing up for this other person. When we touch our vulnerability, we could get angry, defensive, we could get very, very sad or very, very frightened, overwhelmed. And so a brave listener is somebody that can sit with us when those big feelings show up. And I long to be somebody who can sit well with people, to see their positive intentionality, even in times of distress, because it's hard. It's really hard to see good in other people when the message is uncomfortable. And this ties into just everybody has infinite worth. And I'm gonna put in the link to Kent Hoffman's Infinite Worth TED Talk in the description below. Watch it. We all have infinite worth. You know, this person sharing this pain story that I don't understand and it's making me uncomfortable has infinite worth. Me reminding myself of that infinite worth is something that allows me to listen bravely, because if I'm listening well when somebody's talking about pain that I have not experienced, it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to rattle me up because I need to learn something right now. And again, it all really ties back into this thing of our deep down attachment longing is to be seen, heard, and known, that somebody will hold us through our dark moments. And again, to borrow from Kent Hoffman, that someone will meet us in our unmeetable place. So please dare to listen bravely. You know, like right now is the time where hearing people is something that we can do, and it's something that will impact us and hopefully offer some soothing to people or situations that are really, really painful. Okay, guys, so yeah, I believe in you. I think we can do this. Let's start hearing. Let's start listening more. And if you have any comments, please feel free to drop a line below.